Now, speaking of sharing here, the Saramonic, how do you pronounce that? This audio,
You're asking me?
Saramonic. I'm gonna go with Saramonic.
Saramonic. Yeah.
Saramonic, this is a new audio adapter, and in the past, Beachtek and to a lesser extent, Studio One, and then of course, JuiceLink have kind of cornered that market of audio interfaces for your cameras. The Saramonic is a new company to the range, and they're offering a new SR-AX107. Again, we're going with the catchy names here, but this built-in 20 dB a gain amplifier for your camera is bottom camera mountable. It has the thumb screw that's available on Beachtek units, which makes those a little bit handier to use. It has two cold shoe adapters on either side, and it has an isolating transformer. And this is all in the price range of $199. This is a very attractive looking offering. I have yet to test the audio on this, but for audio interfaces, man, that's an affordable brand new price and means that the used price will probably be even lower. Mitch, have you tested or seen any of this?
And this is the first I have seen this, and it looks pretty darn appealing, especially at that price range. It seems to have a lot of the features that the Beachtek and the JuiceLink, like you mentioned, have on them. I like the cold shoe mounts on the side. That's pretty cool. I don't like the fact that it's a 9-volt battery. I tend to really hate things that are 9-volt batteries these days because I don't have rechargeables that maybe they exist, not rechargeable 9 volts, but I tend to use a lot of AA and AAA rechargeable batteries these days as opposed to buying a 9-volt and then having to throw it away. But the price point on this is really cool. Have you seen anything from these guys before? I've never heard of Saramonic.
I've seen a few of the Saramonic adapters. They were passive adapters, and they were basically designed to bring in two wireless systems, like if you have two lav mics or whatever, into the box and then mix those into a stereo signal and send them into the camera. This is the first active system I've seen, and they released the 107, which is the one with the isolating transformers, as well as the 104, which doesn't have the isolating transformers but still basically performs most of the same tasks. And they're at 169 and 199 respectively. I've contacted them about possibly getting a review unit, and if they don't want to send me one, I'll probably just go ahead and buy one because
Don't say that on the air, they'll hear you.
yeah, you know, 199, that's a really good price, guys. Honestly,
Yeah, it is.
if it doesn't suck, I mean, if it even does okay, it's probably going to be worth checking out. 20 dB a gain, that's more gain than you get out of the Beachtek units or the Asden units. I believe those are rated at about 16 and 15 respectively. It's not as much gain as you get out of the Riggy RM333. JuiceLink does have really excellent preamps, and they provide, I believe, 40 in the range of 40 dB a gain out of their preamps, so they have a lot of headroom. But still, 199, whereas the Riggy, I believe, sits at $499 or $400. Maybe $399 now. That's pretty expensive comparatively. So if this sounds decent or sounds good, in fact, then it's probably worth considering. To comment on your 9-volt battery issue, though, part of the reason they use 9 volts in this is actually because of the type of circuits that are used in audio devices. That's why a lot of the stomp pedals and stuff for guitars also use 9-volt batteries. But there is one company that makes one that runs on AA batteries. You have to shove 4 of them into a little weird package thing and then jam them in there, and it doesn't have nearly the runtime. But Asden's offering does support 4 batteries, and it looks almost identical to the Beachtek unit. It's got the big knobs and everything. And the only difference really is that it has a little bit less gain, and then it has a harder to use attachment screw. You have to use like an Allen or something like that, or a flathead to attach it. That's one of the things that, and I've actually talked to Robert from JuiceLink a few times about this. I'm like, man, why don't you put the thumb screw on there? Because that's really handy. And why don't you make your knobs big? Because the knobs are always so tiny. And he's like, well, I want stuff to be super small and I want it to be compact. And there's a trade-off. And I understand that trade-off, and I know what he's saying by that, and that he does want it to be small. But I wish that we could somehow marry a Beachtek and a JuiceLink together so that we have big knobs, we have, easy to attach screws, and we have a nice like mounting plate system. And then this is kind of doing that sort of thing with the extra cold shoes on the side. I mean, imagine you don't have to have an extra rig around your camera. You can just slide in 2 wireless units on either side, mix them into the XLR inputs on the front, and now you have nice big knobs. This has AGC disable if you need it, which isn't really a thing for 5D Mark III and Mark II owners, but if you have some of the other cameras that still have that issue, the older ones, that's an option as well. So this is offering up a lot of stuff. It even has a headphone amplifier in there. And while I'm not cool with the headphone amplifier necessarily, guys, monitor the audio that the camera's actually recording and not the device that's sending the audio to your camera, because then you have no idea what's going on. But it's still cool that they have that. I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to be excited about that. So that's really nice as well. And you could maybe even use the headphone out as a output to your camera, I guess, if you wanted some kind of mixing options. There might be a way to do that properly. $199. I think that says it all.
Yeah, that's the biggest key for me, is that price. I mean, that's almost half the price of the Juiced Link.
Keep an eye out, guys. I'll probably have a review of this coming up in a week or two. I've got links to it in the show notes as well if you want to look into this a little bit deeper. They are available on Amazon. I haven't checked B&H yet to see if they're up on B&H, so they may or may not be there. Originally, I only saw these popping up on eBay, so it's nice to see that they're actually getting to regular retailers that people normally use. I may be one of the few out there that continues to buy all of my gear from eBay.